At the high school, to keep in the replacement of the Mortimer Avenue facade. And that includes a lot of details, right, doors and windows and unit vents and air conditioning and the like. To remove the athletic field upgrade and to continue to work with the borough about ways to address that field. I have a little more to say about that in a few minutes. To remove from the original plan the cafeteria upgrades, which really meant upgrades to where the pool was. To remove this existing cafeteria, the renovations, to turn those into classrooms, and to change the renovations to the current science labs from general ed class renovation to science lab renovations. At middle school, Union School, we would leave in the gym. We would leave in taking the current gym and creating 3 science labs that are lacking in that school. We would remove the AC installation. Remember I spoke about what we heard, to paraphrase, right, was money and pull. Pull and money, depending on who you spoke to, which came first. So some of the things that we have to look at, in addition to maintaining the pool, is to cut the cost without cutting things that we really need, which are places for students to sit in classrooms. And then the other building repairs at Union, the columns, and the wood floors would remain. At Pierpont, which has not been touched in many referendums, where the greatest overcrowded condition is, and where beginning next year we don't have room for special education classes, we would keep that proposal as it was in the original referendum. At Lincoln School, we would remove the additional playground equipment, and we would keep the 2 classroom addition to provide the extra classes there. Washington School, we remove the installation of the additional playground equipment. We would, at the kindergarten center, keep the toilet additions that are needed, required, and the nurse's room toilet, which is needed. And we would keep the air conditioning in the multi-purpose room for the young kids. I think that's needed. And the elevator, which the building's that ADA handicap. We would take out the playground additional equipment, and we would remove the roof to a capital project in a budget coming down the road. As I said, on December 10th, and on January 7th, and on January 8th, if we look at the former $53 million, we're taking out about $10 or $11 million and coming down to a lower 40s. But keep in mind that we're talking about bumps with tariffs, which is why we need a new estimate, could be about 10%. So we're looking at maybe mid-40s. We're looking at the burden to the taxpayer going down to the mid to lower 30s. But again, that's dependent on how the state adjudicates their funding. By February 25th, the board would have the revised estimate. So right now we're kind of in a neighborhood, right? We'll know the exact estimate. And we won't know what the state says until their report comes back, right? Which is why there's a process of different types of approvals. Everything in the last plan, with the exception of the faculty room that was going to be part of a proposed cafeteria, was deemed to be educationally adequate, meaning the criteria for funding. So one could then assume that everything in the plan going forward would also meet that need. But we would wait. Again, this is not something that I want. Dollar amounts could be lower than what I'm saying, could be a little higher than what I'm saying. But we're looking at a plan that provides, we still lose 5 additional classrooms a cafeteria, kitchen, 5 additional classrooms. The field now becomes a subject of negotiation with the borough, but we gain, if this plan goes forward and gets approved, 16 classes, and 2 new gyms, and better buildings, and buildings that meet state mandates and requirements. You know, we've got to accept the voice of the people. We have to accept the reality of our needs, and we have to find a way to get behind a plan that's going to best serve the students now and in the future under the parameters that have been established. So that's what I'm going to ask the board to think about between now and February. We will get those revisements, and quite frankly, the revisions, even though they take time and they all have to be redone, they all have to get resubmitted to the state, the major revision will be the change to the renovation here in the science labs, right? And other than that, it's going to be just extracting things. And there's always some connected work. For example, you know, if you're taking some of the asbestos remediation costs in the high school, it's going to get reduced because there's going to be some areas that are, like in the pool, for example, that are not going to be touched with renovation. So there'll be some variations on cost. Okay. So February will be the meeting that I'm going to ask. And again, it's a pivotal decision, but it's not the